AstroNerdBoy here. Alright, time to do a little Nero 2019 farming. I've been doing the petals just because I want to go through and clear out this first, because I just need so many of these gems in so many ways. And of course I can always use more of the QP. But of course I also need to go in here at some point. Can never have enough feathers, gears, basically all this stuff. Don't need monuments so much, but I definitely need crystallized lord. So I will for sure be at some point during this event going back and trying to get this. I think what I'm going to do is sorry about that, is do the 10 run-throughs of the lottery first. And this is the 4th time through. Compared to a lot of people, I'm probably way behind. But, you know, some people can spend all their time in the game, whereas I cannot. Alright, well, right off the top, I see +2 there. So naturally, I'm going to get that. And let's get this going. This is farm, grind. The grind part, you know, is so tediously time consuming. That's, you know, one of the downsides to this game. However, you know, there is mitigation in the fact that the rewards out of the lottery are not bad. They're things that I need desperately. I'm not that thrilled with the CE. I haven't read other people analyze it and possibly change my mind. But the event CE seems that you get out of the lottery is like, I mean, guts is great, but guts to one point, sorry, is kind of worthless to me. Granted, 500 or 1,000 isn't that much either, but you know, it's better than 1. Alright, let's get to grinding here. Well, not a lot of good choices, so we'll just do this. Bloody rubbish. I just realized I didn't get a drink. Oh well. Alright, let's see.
いきます。強気ですね。問題ない。やあ。せっ。もう。
Well, they'll need Merlin to get anything.
強気ですね。
But I guess I can do this.
やあ。
Yay, now he's at 100%. So, that is pretty good. Alright, now what do I want to do? Go that way. By the way, if you guys get a chance, Peter Jackson has done a documentary about World War I called They Shall Not Grow Old. And if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. I mean, it is some seriously amazing stuff. where he's restored footage from World War I and colorized a lot of it. And then he uses actual interviews done in the 60s and 70s by the BBC of World War I vets. And then they are the narrators. You never get to see those people who are speaking, the former soldiers, their faces, but you get to hear them talk, and then what they talk about matches the scene that's going on in the background. And basically, what Peter Jackson did was give a generalized infantryman's view of the war, kind of a day in the, well, not day in the life of, but, you know, starting from the beginning of the war, you know, these survivors, their reactions to you know, the war itself. And I found it interesting that so many of these guys, even though they were well underage, I guess you were supposed to be 18 or 19 even to sign up, and they would be like 15, 16 and signing up. Obviously they were lying to do so, and you know, sometimes they would be abetted in that by the recruiter, saying, you know, when they if the recruit confessed that they were only 16 or 17, like, well, maybe you better go back to the back of the line and have a birthday in the meantime. And then they'd come through again, and this time they'd say, oh, I'm 18. And so it's pretty wild how many underage guys signed up to fight in the war. Of course, it was a different time back then, but pretty powerful stuff. And then, you know, talking about their experiences in basic training, and then going to the war and how excited they were, and of course the conditions of the war, trench warfare. And, but yeah, Peter Jackson just has really outdid himself. This is just some amazing work. So my only, and it's not a complaint, but being somewhat of a I don't want to say war buff, because that makes it sound like I'm like all pro war, but you know, which is not the case. But being someone who is interested in military things, I definitely wanted to see certain parts of the war that were not talked about. One being aircraft, another being the war at sea. Because the documentary that Peter Jackson does shows the introduction of tanks, you know, which are, we don't think much of today, because they're just commonplace. But back then, you know, these were the super weapons who were going to win the war for, and, you know, they didn't. But tanks were gone over, but, you know, they just didn't talk about other aspects. It was basically just the army and primarily infantry. But the way Peter Jackson did the narrative, it works great. But I hope he can go back and do a sequel, because in the extras, the only extra on the Blu-ray I bought, he did mention that they had a lot of footage discussing the aerial war and the naval war, but they just didn't include it for the narrative they were telling, which was just from an infantryman's perspective. So I'd love to see him go back and do a sequel where he picks up those other elements. And you know, another thing that he had was the effect the war had on women. And you know, I know when World War II happened, you know, a lot of us in the United States think about how, you know, ooh, that got women into the workforce. Well, in Europe, World War I did that because all the men were out fighting the war, and so we'll see if he does it. It'd be totally cool if he did. Because the film restoration work is just amazing stuff, and you know, the colorization, even though it doesn't look, you know, like a digital photo, it looks like colorized stuff, but it just makes everything come to life so much. And then the film restoration and making the film run at 24 frames per second rather than the, you know, 9 to 16 frames per second it could be from the original footage. You know, makes it just incredible. So, if you get a chance, give that a look for sure. Alright, well, let's see. Doesn't really matter.
承知した。突撃！強気ですね。
Alright, well,
強気ですね。突撃！問題ない。やあ
kind of like how well they seem to juice their own NP bars.
承知した。ああ、問題ない。
If I was really good at this game, you know, I'd have a proper understanding of the card order, the for maximizing NP growth. But that is information I do not retain.
承知した。問題ない。突撃！
Technically, I didn't need to worry about that so much because Merlin would have put the extra 20% on it. But, well, hey. Well, you know, let's go back and target. Since number 2 has all the most hit points. And I'm going to pay for that apparently. Well, I'm going to make you pay for that. How you like them apples? That's right. Die, dog! Oh, you gotta be joking. I hate when RNG does that. You know, I don't really have a choice. just to be safe, because I am not sure at all that we'll see. Alright, I was worried about nothing. It doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt, and in the last round, it's not like any of these smegheads are gonna be able to touch me. Unless Sherlock Holmes manages to resist my mystic code stun. It's happened not with him, but I've had 2 fights, and the whole time I've had this mystic code, whatever it is, the battle suit, plug suit, or whatever they call it, I think, where an enemy resisted the stun. And it's a total bummer when that happens. And it wasn't because the enemy had a buff up that prevented debuffs either. I could understand that, but it's probably like a 1% chance or something to resist debuffs. Alright, time for the 2 double phantasm hammers. I really want Ultra Lancer at NP2 so that she can do a lot more damage. Got Karna at NP3. I never wanted to get him in the first place. Oh man. He just pops up sometimes. I've had him pop up a couple of times during banner rolls. Normally I like to bring Jean in. What the heck, I'm gonna bring Jean in just because I like to do that. I just like seeing Jean, J Alter, sorry. I like seeing J Alter just lay the smack down. You know, totally don't need to do any of this, and it would save time if I didn't. But I just can't help it. I just like seeing those big, those big damage numbers show up. Do not request. When that's not anything personal against the person I'm not requesting, it's just hello, do. Yes, this is always fun. Slow. Alright, let's see what kind of fun I can get out of well, this grand prize just, like I said, I can't really say that I'm that thrilled about it. I mean, if it gave an attack up outside of an event, that would totally rock. Apply guts one time. Now the positive to this is it's indefinite. It would stay there forever until used and couldn't be debuffed. I mean, removed. So, there is a plus to that. Increase MP strength by 15%. I don't know what this grows to. I'm curious now just to see what it grows to. Give me a second. I'm checking the event craft essence. Divine three-legged race. And let's see. At max level break, it only goes up to 20% NP strength. Which, you know, don't get me wrong. Plus 20% NP strength is not anything to sneeze at. But I don't know. I was just looking to see what kind of I'm not seeing anything, you know, just quick scan. Not seeing where people are going, oh yeah, this is the stuff. It's more like kind of general comments about it. This looks like something that I would stash in the back row. Well, not that I have much room in the back row. Spin away. Alright, so coming down to the end. And I've mentioned this in other videos, but if you haven't watched any of those, in the past, when I've done the game, I have totally jacked up how I did this. But of course, I wasn't getting as much currency back then to do it, so it was more like, you know, get the grand prize, get the key things I needed, and then do a reset. Whereas now, I'm completely emptying these and then moving along. Now that there are probably some people who would be totally triggered by me skipping all this, but I just like, you know, I just don't need to. You know, I don't need to hear her see the same things over and over and over again. Alright. So, can always use these. As you know, I have not been ember farming for experience in a long time because of all the event after event after event. And then during the half AP event, which is still going on, you know, I cleared all the interludes and I cleared all of the well, I cleared all the interludes that I could. I have 50 billion more to do, but you know, these are servants I have not touched. I mean, it's just how do you do it? I mean, this game is not set up to easily allow one to you know, power up your servants. And I don't mean easy in like give it to me. I'm talking If you've got, you know, a stable of servants, you know, the cost to farm for Ember is 40 AP. Well, okay, that's 3 battles. That's 3 times through, done. You can do that twice a day at my level, roughly. And that's it. You know, without burning apples. And you save apples for these kind of events, or events where the rewards are greater. You know, and that's a huge problem in this game. I'm working on my Gilgamesh. Oops. And let's see. Yep, that's perfect. Well, not perfect, but close enough. I just love that laugh. Gilgamesh is such a punk in the original Fate Stay Night, and then of course in Fate Zero. But you know, he is an awesome servant to have. All right, do I have? Yes, I do. And the QP struggle is real too. I mean, seriously, that's another thing. There's just too many roadblocks. You can't do jack. And I don't really know how you pay to win in terms of getting servants leveled up. I wonder. Because I've got this new skill, I don't know if an interlude will happen or not. Well, he probably goes down into the strengthening. Let's look real quick. Anyway, what I was saying is, I mean, you can pay to win to buy, you know, servants galore. Ah, he did. Frack. Well, you know, I probably will take the time to Gilgamesh. I probably will take the time to do his fight. Not now. I'm clicking in just to kind of get a glimpse. This is Interlude 3. Definitely want to do Interlude 3 because that's the one I think that, yeah, that causes him to charge his own NP gauge. Absolutely. That's like, being able to self-charge is like a massive thing. So, while it's half AP, I may as well do it, but not right now. Alright, I got a little less than 60 seconds. I can do one final battle. Anyway, oh yeah, so I was blathering about, you know, my issues with the game. Is there's just, you know, you know, these daily quests, I mean, they should be half this cost, in my opinion. That would double the time sink in this game, obviously, but at least you can make some progress. I mean, I guess the only way you could pay to win is to burn SQ for energy refreshes. Now, in a lot of games, you would do that. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, of course, you simmed. You didn't have to go through the bloody fight, you know, 50 billion times once you had cleared the fight and 3-starred it. You could just sim it as long as you had energy. You could just say, okay, I want to sim it, and you know, if that, you know, you had energy to do 15 battles, then it would simulate 15 fights and give you the rewards for 15 fights. Fate Grand Order is like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to make things ultra expensive to use energy-wise, and you're going to have to manually fight each battle, because up yours Joe Boo. Sorry. And, you know, that's, that's a problem. That's why I wish this game was more like a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in terms of, well, a lot of aspects, except for, I think one of the reasons I like Fate Grand Order more is just because I love the franchise, and I'll admit it's fun doing this kind of a pseudo role play kind of thing where you have all these servants fighting for you. Well, you have +2, but you suck. I kind of need someone on the front line. There we go. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I don't need her. I might as well bring in somebody. For ember farming purposes. Oh, why not, right? Oh, wait, no, I can't. I gotta keep it down. Well, why not? How's that? Should've been doing that all along. But, hey, I don't always see the... When it comes to playing these kind of games, I don't always see everything. My mentality in playing games is always having fun, and obviously you want to be the best that you can be, but to do that, actually turns a game into work. So anyway, I keep getting distracted. It's one of my problems. I let my mind wander. Anyway, yeah, I really do wish that these stop walls weren't so severe on raising up your servants. And I guess these events are the developers' way of going, oh, well, alright, we'll toss you a bone. So, all those secret gems that I desperately need to get their skills up past the basic level, now then I can start accumulating them by manually farming the crap out of this. But again, these battles are 40 AP. They're very expensive, although Apple-wise, they're being very generous with apples. So, I don't have the time to play this 24/7 like some folks. So, I don't think I'm going to run out of apples, but still, anyway. Really, if it wasn't my total love of the Fate franchise, and the characters there and stuff, I would never recommend this game to other people, really. Well, not totally. I mean, if you're a fan of the franchise, I'd say, yeah, go ahead, but just, understand that, all the servants you're going to really, really want are behind a paywall, period. Yeah, you can save up if you're free to play. I can hear, I hear the argument, oh, well, you can win. You can beat the game if you just playing free to play, which I don't deny that. But if you're free to play and you want to collect all the Altrias, well, guess what? You can get stuffed. You're not going to collect them all. You're never going to have enough SQ playing free to play and collect everything you want. So you pretty much have to say, okay, you can either collect a servant you want or something you really need. You know, like Merlin or Wavercoon, who, you know, are the best servants in the game, without a doubt, just because of their support value. I mean, they're just insanely good. That, I mean, it's just there's no other way of saying it. So, you know, as a free-to-play player, you know, and I guess this is something else that developers do to toss a bone, is that they make a lot of the welfare servants decent. If you look at the 4-star top tier servants, most of them, or at least half of them, are welfare servants. But then the developers are going, oh, so if you started playing this game now, you're not getting Santa Alter. And she's a really good top tier 4-star servant. I think she's top tier. I'm pretty sure she is. I have to look at the list. It doesn't matter. I don't need to. Sorry, I'm looking. Haven't checked the list in a while. Oh, they have her at tier 2. Okay, sorry, I thought she was top tier. But she's still good. I use her in my QP farming. But if you look at the top servants, Sakata Ryder is in the top tier. He's a welfare servant. But hey, can't get him again. If you're starting right now, you'll never get him. I think Rogi Shiki Assassin, I don't think you can get her anymore. I don't know. I have to look and see if her rerun event happens. You know, I've already missed the event to get Kuro, Chloe. So I have to get her on the rerun. But if I don't get her on the rerun, which I guess happens in a year or two, SOL. And that's a flaw in this game. I think all welfare servants, after their second rerun, should go into the friend summon pool. And, you know, there's no reason for them not to. And if you say, oh, well, you need to be in the event, you should do the event. We had to do an event to get them. Well, okay, yeah, you did an event to get them. And what else did you do? What else did you get as part of that event? You know, how much mats did you get? How much currency did you get? You know, so don't give me that nonsense that just because you had to get a servant in an event means that at some point they shouldn't go into the summon pool. They were a free servant. And then make it, you know, if you want, so that you have to buy their ascension materials from the store. I'm gonna do it anyway, just because that's how I roll, y'all. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on that. I mean, it just boggles my mind. Like I said, the way this game is designed, everything is designed to be against the player. It's you know, this is the most non-free-to-play friendly game I have ever played. And under normal conditions, I would never play this game. But, you know, and this is where they've got me, is that I love the characters. And I had decided when I got back into the game and I read up on how to 3-way farm and make certain improvements, investing in that idiot one-star berserker. Man, I cannot think of his name now. Oh man, this is terrible. Anyway, well, I have to get a few other things done at the moment. I will be back to farm for petals again. And I guess tomorrow we go into the next phase of this event. So I'm going to call it here. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my thoughts on all these things. If you like my video, feel free to give it a like. And think about subscribing. I'm going to try to post more game videos. I kind of actually have fun. It's a way for me to blow off some steam and throw something up on YouTube at the same time. So, this is AstroNerdBoy. Have a good one.